Imagine walking into a room and feeling the air make room for you before your mouth even opens. You don't announce yourself, you don't perform, you don't rush. You simply arrive, and the energy shifts. Heads turn not because you demanded attention, but because something about your presence says, I'm centered, I'm sovereign. I'm not here to be chosen, I'm here to choose. If what you've heard so far is shifting how you see yourself, stay with me until the end, because we're just getting started. The truth is, most men try to build attraction with words because words feel safe. Talk can be controlled, rehearsed, edited. But sexual tension doesn't live in words, it lives in space, timing, distance, breath, stillness, and the deliberate friction between approach and restraint. It's built when your body says what your lips refuse to say. This is how you create that feeling in her nervous system that says, something is happening here, without a single line, joke, or compliment, and how you maintain it until she's the one leaning closer, closing the space you left on purpose. Before anything else, you recalibrate your baseline. Calm, grounded, slow. Tension starts inside you. Your physiology is the first message she reads. When your breath is shallow, your shoulders are tight, your gaze is restless, you broadcast insecurity. When your inhale is deep and low, your exhale unhurried, your shoulders open and heavy, your spine long, you broadcast ease. Stand as if there's a string gently lifting the crown of your head while your feet sink into the floor like roots. Let your ribcage expand more sideways than upward when you breathe. This anchors your chest without puffing it. Roll your shoulders once, slow, like you're dropping weight off them. Keep your jaw loose. The jaw tells the truth about tension. When you move, cut your speed by 20%. When you reach for anything, your glass, your phone, your keys, make the reach clean and precise. The absence of fidgeting is a signal. The economy of motion is a signal. It tells her, this man doesn't leak energy. Your eyes are your first touch. They can flinch or they can hold. They can grab or they can invite. The rule is simple. Look to see, not to seek. Let your gaze land on her with stillness, as if you're noticing a detail in a painting. Curious, appreciative, not hungry. Hold that gaze a beat longer than politeness requires. Then release it first with a small, almost private smile that barely lifts one corner of your mouth. That asymmetry plants a question. When you reestablish eye contact, do it from stillness, not from a quick snapback, and let your blink cadence slow down. If you're close enough to read micro-expressions, watch the triangle. Right eye, left eye, lips, then back to the eyes. Drift there once, only once. The timing matters. One slow triangle, then step back into steady eye contact as if you didn't do anything unusual. You'll see a breath change, a slight lip press, or a hair tuck if she felt it. That's the first thread of tension, a subtle message that you noticed the possibility and didn't pounce. Distance is the language of desire. Too far and nothing ignites. Too close and it combusts, then dies. The sweet spot is the edge, the space where you can feel each other's heat but neither of you is forced to decide. If you're standing, angle yourself at 45 degrees rather than square on. It reduces pressure while keeping access. When you step into her space, do it by sliding 1 foot closer, not both. That half step lets her body choose whether to match the movement. If she leans in or pivots toward you, you hold your ground. If she leans back or pivots away, you give her a breath of space and let the conversation flow to someone else or to a neutral topic. This shows calibration, and calibration is confidence in action. Remember, tension is a dance of micro advances and micro retreats. Push only as much as she pulls. Pull only as much as she pushes. You are not testing her. You are listening with your whole body. Your posture broadcasts your frame. Most men try to appear bigger. You'll aim to appear more solid. Big is loud. Solid is quiet, and quiet is magnetic. Keep your sternum open, but not inflated. Your hips square and relaxed. Your head aligned, chin slightly tucked. Shift your weight to the leg farther from her, so your torso naturally opens toward her without leaning into her. If you're seated, take the angle that gives her the option to enter your space voluntarily. Side by side at a bar with your bodies turned slightly toward each other, or at a table with you diagonal rather than straight across. Keep one forearm resting and one hand free. The resting arm says, I'm comfortable. The free hand says, I could move at any moment. That duality creates anticipation. Your hands matter more than you think. They communicate precision, patience, and promise. Keep your fingers relaxed, not splayed, not clenched. When you gesture, let your hands move as if you're shaping the air rather than cutting it. Touch nothing rapidly unless it's necessary. Rapid is anxious. If you pick up a glass, rotate it a degree or two and place it down with intention. If you adjust your cuff or watch, do it slowly. Eyes down for a beat, then back up to her eyes. Those tiny moments of self-attention, when done sparingly, signal that you're not performing for approval. You're enjoying your own ritual. Women notice ritual. It's masculine artistry. Clothing is architecture for your body. You're choosing lines that sculpt the silhouette and textures that invite the eye. Prefer fit over flash, a jacket that frames your shoulders and tapers at the waist, a shirt that sits clean across your chest, trousers that fall straight without a break that puddles over your shoes. Choose one statement, texture, watch, ring, and let the rest be understated. Leather with patina whispers of miles traveled. A matte watch face says you value function. Too many things shouting cancels the message. And scent, use it like a signature, not a speech. 2 sprays, pulse points, done. The right fragrance doesn't arrive before you do. It lingers after you leave. That echo is a form of nonverbal tension, the sensory reminder of your presence in your absence. Movement is your unspoken storyline. You build a rhythm. Enter calmly, pause, scan, select, approach with a half smile, stop a comfortable step away, angle your body, hold eye contact, then break it with a nod that's so subtle it's almost just in your eyes. When you move for a reason, never as a way to burn nervous energy. When you leave, you don't vanish. You let your attention leave first, eyes shift, your body begins to rotate away, your hand collects your glass last. If you're crossing a room, you don't weave, you chart a clean path. If someone calls your name, you turn your head before your body. Your body follows like the tide follows the moon. This sequencing, head then body, signals that you're in control of your space. Silence is a force multiplier. It turns everyday moments into charged moments. Here's how you use it. When she says something that lightly teases you, you don't rush to counter. You pause, you breathe, you let your eyes soften, and you allow the corner of your mouth to lift like you've heard this melody before and you like it. When she asks you a question that probes, you don't jump to explain. A beat of silence makes your answer feel deliberate. When she compliments you, you receive it with stillness. No verbal deflection, no self-deprecating laugh, just a slow nod and a simple in your chest that may not even become a word. Silence allows her to project curiosity into you, and curiosity is gasoline on the ember of tension. Your face is a map she reads more than your words. Keep your expressions restrained but precise. An eyebrow that lifts 0.5 millimeter at a bold comment says, "You're not shocked, just intrigued." A slow blink after she shares something personal says you've actually absorbed it. A micro head tilt, less than you think, when she reveals a contradiction says you're paying attention to nuance. Train your expression around your eyes and mouth. These are the loci of truth. Avoid exaggerated smiles. They drain mystery. Aim for the private smile, the one that looks like you're enjoying an inside joke with yourself. That smile is magnetic because it implies an inner world that doesn't need external validation. Touch, when welcomed and ethical, is the bridge between suggestion and certainty. It must be calibrated, contextual, and easy to withdraw. Begin with what the environment would make normal. A brief palm-to-palm when you're introduced, a light guiding touch at the back of the shoulder blade as you navigate a crowded space, an offer of your forearm if she's stepping over something. Each of these should pass the return test. Does her body move closer after, hold neutral, or withdraw? If she moves closer or lingers a fraction too long, you have permission to maintain that level, not escalate automatically. Tension is built in patience. If you later touch her forearm to emphasize a joke, do it with the pad of your fingers, not your whole hand, and release first. Your release is the message. I could have stayed. I chose not to. Consent is not just a principle, it's attractive. A man who can name limits with his body, who can enjoy closeness without grasping, communicates power and safety at once. Your voice, even when you say nothing, lives in your breathing and your timing. When you finally choose to speak, your words will matter because your silence had weight. But remember, we're building tension without relying on what you say. This means you treat the space between her sentences as a canvas. Your inhale should be the slowest thing in the room. Your exhale should be the conclusion to a point even if you didn't make one. You can answer questions with a look, a slow grin, or a slight lean that says, "I heard you. I'm deciding how much you get to know." This is not a performance, it's the absence of performing. The less you strive, the more the moment expands to meet you. The room itself is a tool if you treat it like a chessboard. Choose positions that control flow. Corners, edges, thresholds. Doorways carry charge because people have to pass through them. Stand just off-center, never blocking, but close enough that crossing into or out of your space becomes a decision. High tables signal transience, sofas signal intimacy. Bars are the middle path. A low-lit corner with an open sightline allows privacy without isolation. If you're at a table, sit where you can see the entrance. It puts you in quiet command. When she arrives into your orbit, give her your full attention for a beat, then allow your eyes to briefly track the room, as if you're aware of the world, but choosing her. That choice, repeated subtly over time, creates an atmosphere where she feels both seen and desired without being smothered. Social dynamics amplify everything. Pre-selection, women responding well to you, speaks loudly without you saying a word. But how you interact with others matters as much as the attention you receive. Treat staff with ease, not theatrics. Share quick, warm acknowledgments with people you know. When someone interrupts, you don't cling to the person you're with physically. You pivot your torso to include the newcomer, place your resting hand back on the table or bar, and let your attention be equal. This shows abundance, not scarcity. If a friend tells a story and the group laughs, glance at her last and hold the eye contact a heartbeat longer, as if the laugh matured into something private between you two. You just layered the public energy into the private tension. Scarcity of availability creates value, but only if your presence is felt before your absence. You leave not to manipulate, but to preserve the charge. When a conversation hits a peak, laughter, a shared look, a little silence pregnant with possibility, that's a perfect time to excuse yourself briefly. Stand smoothly, eyes on her, then break contact first and place your hand lightly on the back of her chair or the bar. Claim, not cage. Leave at a measured pace. When you return, do not rush back into the exact previous intimacy. Re-enter one level below. Make her feel the need to climb back to where you were. Like a tide that teases the shore, you offer and withdraw rhythmically. The brain loves pattern and loves to predict. Tension thrives when the pattern is consistent, but not perfectly predictable. Boundaries radiate through your body before they're ever spoken. If she tests you, arriving late, splitting attention with her phone, lightly disrespecting your time, correct it non-verbally first. You can lean back, shift your stance, let your attention drift to the room for a few seconds, or place your phone face down and slide it away as a contrast to her behavior. Often, she will self-correct if she's invested. If she doesn't, you can constrain your availability by physically repositioning. Move to a slightly less intimate angle, or create a small piece of space. When you do speak, keep it light and firm. But often you won't need to. Your energy already said, "I do not chase validation." The paradox is that restraint creates the exact curiosity that makes her search for your attention again. Micro-challenges are silent games that engage her without words. If she holds your gaze a little too long, you let the corners of your eyes smile but keep your lips still. If she brushes past you, you pause a second longer than necessary before stepping back in. If she gives a bolder look, eyes to your mouth then up, you hold your calm and let a deeper breath move your chest once. Slow. These are yeses that don't rush, approvals that are never free. Seduction is not about withholding approval forever. It's about making it meaningful when you give it. The moment you approve too fast, the voltage drops. The moment you withhold too stubbornly, the connection breaks. Dance the line. Curiosity is your best ally. You create it by hinting at layers. A ring with a story but no explanation. A scar you don't volunteer to discuss. A refined taste that shows up in one small choice. Your coffee order, the book in your bag, the way you tie your scarf in winter, without any need to teach or preach. When she notices and asks, you can answer with a fragment and a shift in attention. Not mysterious for the sake of performance. Grounded in a life that's rich whether or not she's in it. Women attune to the difference between contrived mystery and genuine depth. Genuine depth isn't loud, it's a gravity well. If you want to enhance your body's nonverbal message on a physiological level, become a student of tension and release in your musculature. Relax your forehead and your tongue. Both are linked to your sympathetic nervous system. Keep your shoulders down and back, but not pinned. Let your belly soften slightly. Many men suck in their gut to look fit and end up producing a constant microsignal of stress. Soft belly, strong spine. That's the formula for a man who can feel, decide, and act. Train your grip strength. It shows without being shown. Improve your neck posture. A strong, free neck changes everything about how your presence lands. When you walk, have your feet point forward and let your hips swing naturally, not stiffly. Stiffness reads as fear. A natural stride reads as freedom. In logistics-heavy environments, crowded bars, busy events, use proximity management to let tension accumulate without pinning it. Position yourself so she has to pass near you for something she wants. The bar, the exit, the appetizer tray, the view. When she does, you step a fraction to give way, eyes meeting hers briefly, and you allow a smile that says you noticed. If she lingers, you anchor your elbow on the bar and offer an open torso. If she passes through, you don't chase. Later, when trajectories cross again, you treat it like coincidence. The third coincidence is where you let your gaze hold longer and your smile deepen. Repetition with variation is how the brain bonds. You're giving her nervous system the pattern. Presence, choice. She learns that getting closer to you is her decision, and that's what makes it feel safe and exciting at the same time. Take advantage of contrast. If the environment is loud, be calmer. If the environment is fast, be slower. If the environment is bright, choose darker, richer textures. If most men are peacocking, you dress with disciplined minimalism. The contrast sets you apart before you open your mouth. In conversation, contrast the energy too. If she's animated, you ground. If she's reserved, you warm. You don't mirror every time, you complement. Complementing creates a magnetic circuit. Her energy seeks the balance you provide, and yours is subtly charged by hers. This is advanced calibration, listening beyond words, meeting her where she is without losing where you are. When the moment feels ripe, when you sense a mutual tension that's sustained and playful, this is where most men spill it with a cheesy line or a rushed escalation. You'll do the opposite. You'll compress it into a look that lasts one heartbeat longer than usual. Then you'll look down and to the side, slow, like you're privately enjoying the thought of something unsaid. That little look away, when timed right, is devastating. It lets her mind race into the space you created. She imagines what you might have said. She wonders what you're holding back. You haven't promised anything, but you've suggested everything. That is the essence of nonverbal seduction. You give the mind a spark, and the body does the rest. If you decide to end the interaction for the night, do it at a high point and do it cleanly. Don't fade. Don't nervously stack promises. Stand smoothly, let your eyes meet hers. Let that private smile flicker and say nothing at all. Or say the bare minimum needed for logistics. Then go. Leave a trace of your scent, the picture of your posture, the memory of your measured breath. In the hours after, the brain replays peak moments and unfinished arcs. You left both. She'll feel both. If this is hitting something inside you, drop your thoughts below. I read every single one. Now let's make this practical. Things you can apply today, silently. When you enter a venue, stop just inside the threshold and let yourself take in the room like a landowner surveying his property. No rush, no anxiety. Scan slowly from left to right, upper level to lower level if applicable, and choose your first position deliberately. If you see her early, do not beeline toward her. Move through 2 other interactions first. A brief exchange with staff, a nod to someone you recognize, a few seconds enjoying the view. Then place yourself somewhere she can notice you without effort. This communicates that you are socially embedded, not orbiting her gravity. When your paths cross, offer a look that lingers, then return to your conversation without a visible reaction. She learns that your attention is selective, not starving. If you're already in a conversation with her, audit your body. Are your feet both aimed at her like a supplicant? Angle 1 foot away just a little. Are you leaning in while she leans back? Match her distance. Let a little emptiness grow, then see if she fills it. Are you nodding too much? Replace 2 nods with a slow blink. Does your laughter spike too fast? Replace 1 laugh with a breath and a head tilt. This micro-editing takes you from chasing to choosing, from pleasing to playing. Your nervous system calms as your body aligns with authority. She feels safer because you're not grabbing. She feels intrigued because you're not easy. When you touch a door for her, don't perform chivalry. Own chivalry. Open the door, step through first if appropriate to clear the space, then pivot and hold with your palm open at shoulder level, allowing her to pass. Your eyes don't scan her. Your attention stays on the path. At the table, you pull the chair a clean 2 inches, not too far, not too little, and slide it gently as she sits. No commentary. Effortless competence is aphrodisiac. Competence without the need for applause is power. If she tests your poise, she will, and it's a gift. Embrace it silently. A joke at your expense? Your lips curve, your eyes soften, you take a breath deeper than usual. A slight delay in responding to your look? You keep yours steady for a heartbeat, then release with a nod that says, "I'm patient." If she escalates playfully, a longer look, a shoulder brush, respond by slowing down, not speeding up. The instinct to speed up is adolescent. The discipline to slow down is masculine. It tells her subconscious, this man is already full. He's not waiting for permission to be desired. Practice restraint with your phone. Texting is where most men leak the very tension they built in person. Keep your messages purposeful and concise. If a thread slows, don't prop it up artificially. Let it breathe. Your silence between messages should feel like your silence in person. Present, unbothered, and unneedy. When you do send something, make it anchored in reality. A reference to a shared moment, a time-locked invitation, a simple photo of something you know will speak to a detail she revealed. Minimal words, maximal meaning. You are training her nervous system to feel you even when you're not there. That is the long game. Your life outside these moments constructs the foundation beneath this entire skill. If you have nothing you're building, nothing you're protecting, nothing you're proud of, your nonverbal signals will broadcast that emptiness. Work on your craft. Train your body. Refine your taste. Spend time with men who challenge you and women who respect you. The more you own your days, the quieter your nights can be. Paradoxically, the less you need sexual validation, the more your presence suggests it naturally. Women are drawn to men whose desire is strong, but not hungry, directed, but not desperate. Desire with discipline radiates like heat from a banked fire. Everything you're learning here can be practiced in low-stakes environments. Stand in line for coffee and practice your posture, your breath, your pace. Walk through a store and practice your scanning and your micro-pauses. In conversation with friends, practice the slow blink instead of the rapid nod. At a doorway, practice the choreography of opening space without fanfare. You're rewiring habits, not inventing a persona. Over time, these micro-skills unify into a felt experience for anyone around you. This man makes the moment feel charged without trying. That's the reputation you want, because that reputation precedes you, and that's when rooms start to meet you halfway. If you know a brother who needs to hear this, someone who talks too much, pushes too fast, and wonders why things fizzle, send this to him today. Don't keep it to yourself. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more men who understand the power of calibrated silence, who can make a woman feel both safe and excited with nothing more than a look, a breath, a step closer, and then a step back. You can be that man. You become him by practicing restraint as a form of respect, by mastering your space like a sculptor, by letting your eyes and hands and breath speak louder than any line ever could. When you leave tonight, leave with an experiment. For the next 7 days, speak 15% less and feel 30% more. When you enter any space, slow down. When you meet someone's eyes, hold a fraction longer. When you laugh, let the laugh breathe before the next word. When you feel the urge to fill a silence, don't. When you want to close a distance, shave it by half instead of all the way. Watch what happens. You'll notice her hair being tucked behind an ear that didn't need it. You'll notice a hip angle toward you when the topic doesn't require it. You'll notice the exhale through the nose, the lower lip pressed for a beat too long. These are not accidents, they are responses. You started it without saying a word. And when you decide to escalate, a future you, a calibrated you, your words will be the garnish, not the meal. They'll land because your presence made them heavy. They'll be remembered because your silence framed them. That's the secret most men never learn. Language seduces the mind, but tension seduces the body. You've learned how to craft it, hold it, and let it build until she wants to cross the space you created. If what you've learned here is changing how you move, how you breathe, how you look at yourself in the mirror, tell me below. I read every single one. And if you want more of this, more mastery, more nuance, more power delivered with kindness and control, stay close. This is just the beginning of who you can become.